You know, the other night I was watching a little NBA and saw Steph Curry against the 76ers go 0 for 11 from beyond the three-point arc, which got me thinking he could use the Shot Doctor. So we bring back Coach Gary Close from the Shot Doctor Academy. And Shot Doctor, he could have used your help right there. And so you're good at teaching shooting. That's what we've heard, and it's why they call you the Shot Doctor. What actually got you into teaching shooting specifically?
Well, when I first started coaching at the Division I level at Stanford a while ago, I wanted to find a niche where I could not only help the program but help the individual players within it. And I'd always kind of been interested in shooting and kind of studied a little bit more. And then a big thing is I ran into a shooting coach who had Stanford connections in Southern California by the name of Des Flood, who was a terrific shooting coach. And we worked a lot of camps together and worked individual players out together. And he had a great impact on some of the things that I teach, and kind of a mentor. And so it was kind of a way to make an impact on the program, and it kind of grew from there.
Yeah, wow, and good stuff. And again, Steph could have used some consultation the other night. He's been in a bit of a slump. Now, he's a good shooter, though, and we've seen some good shooters around here, and even with the Badger program when you were a part of that. What do you think are some of the characteristics of a good shooter?
Well, I think a consistent delivery, and one of the things that we work in our camps and in our training sessions, we try to eliminate as much wasted motion as possible. If we can get it down to be a pretty concise, compact delivery with as little error in it, then you're going to be a little more consistent. Now, it takes time. I think it's important that you work on simple things to start with, depending on the age, and then gradually build. And that's what our camps and clinics do. We start with the basics in terms of stance and hand location and ball location, and then get more involved with quick release and things like that. But in the end, you're trying to make a good, consistent delivery every time.
Now, with some of those kids, you talk about them getting started. What age can they get started? And when they start that young, what are you really focusing in on?
Well, as we talked about the basics, I think 4th, 5th, 6th grade you can get started. I think it's important when you're really young to play with a small ball and maybe even lower the basket so that you're not throwing the ball as much if it's a heavier ball or a higher basket. But we start with the basics, and as they get older, we get a little bit more involved. But I think, at an early age, if you can learn it the right way, then it makes it a lot easier as develop as a basketball player.
Spring and summer right around the corner. We've talked about some of the camps that you got coming up. What can kids learn there? What are you focusing in on?
Well, the interest has been great. I think our training sessions involve two things. One session is basically all the fundamentals: ball handling, offensive moves, footwork, and of course shooting. And then we have a shooting clinic every week, and that's where we break down the shot and try to develop each player with a better shooter as the weeks go on.
Good stuff. Coach, thank you as always, and we appreciate you being here on the Sports News.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.